Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone had a happy new year. My name is Rosalind Thomas, and tonight I'll be speaking on emotional intelligence. I want to thank God for Apostle Garner and Prophet Yolanda for them providing me the opportunity to speak tonight and for the next few weeks on emotional intelligence. And so tonight, my prayer is that something that I say will be a blessing to you, something that I say will encourage you, and that you're able to take some things from what I'm sharing tonight into your own personal life. And so, as I said, I'll be speaking tonight on emotional intelligence, and I'll provide a definition for emotional intelligence. Then I'll break it down a little bit, that definition, and then we'll go into a little bit more of attributes of emotional intelligence and just key things that represent someone that has emotional intelligence. I know that on tonight I won't be able to get to all of it this evening, but it'll lay the foundation for the weeks following for what we discuss on tonight. So I'll go ahead and start. Emotional intelligence, otherwise known as emotional quotient or EQ, is the ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions in positive ways, to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflict. That's only part of it. Emotional intelligence helps you build stronger relationships, succeed at work, at school, and achieve your own personal goals and career goals. It can also help you to connect with feelings and turn those feelings from intention into action. So it's a pretty lengthy definition. And so that's why I'd like to go ahead and break down this definition just a little bit. And in breaking down this definition, we'll be breaking down some of the words to give more meaning to it, to help it be understood just a little bit better, because that is a pretty lengthy definition. So I'd like to start by emotional intelligence is the ability to understand. And I want to stop there and define understand as a skill to perceive the intended meaning, whether it's the intended meaning of someone saying something to you or something you overheard and or a situation, the ability to the skill to perceive the intention behind what you heard and or saw. It that right there, that skill, it'll prevent us from jumping to conclusions, maybe assuming what is meant that may have not been the meaning of it. So it gives us that opportunity to stop and perceive the intention, the intended meaning behind what is being said. And so continuing on, emotional intelligence, the ability to understand, to perceive the intended meaning behind a situation, use and manage your own emotions in positive ways to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflict. And so I'd like to start with relieving stress. And for tonight, the main example that I'm going to use is centered around anger. And so I'll be using anger emotion, and most examples that I have tonight will be centered around that. And so when we're talking about relieving stress, I'm going to use anger. And I don't know if you've ever felt when you were angry, body tight, felt tense, felt rigid, maybe some aches, pains. I've heard people say my head is hurting really bad if they're stressed out, just different aches and pains that may come about in our body because of stress. And so when we're using our emotions in a positive way, the definition to relieve stress. So now that stress is not a part of my body. I'm using my emotions positively. And so with that being said, my body is feeling serene and calm because I'm using positive emotions. The next one, communicate effectively. And so when we're talking about communicating effectively, clear words, correct words, complete, concise, and compassionate, right? And this affords the ability to be able to articulate what we're feeling while simultaneously providing the other individual to express themselves. Proverbs 15:1, a soft word turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. And so I don't know if you've ever experienced where someone approached you and you could just feel the anger just coming off them in waves. And so instead of you being calm and or remaining calm? Well, I'm going to get angry and I'm going to defend myself against this anger that's approaching me. And so now we have anger for anger for anger. Nobody's response is a compassionate response. Nobody can be heard because of this anger that's volleying back and forth. We have an anger response that's going back and forth. This could open the door for miscommunication. It could open the door for offense and even unforgiveness. But if we're communicating effectively, a part of that effective communication, then it gives off that compassion. It gives off that ability for me to stop and kind of hear what you're saying, listen to what you're saying, and not give what I feel like is being given to me. Okay, the next one, empathize. Empathize, the ability to sense one's emotions, another person's emotions. So essentially, that discernment, being able to discern someone's intention or maybe what they're feeling, because sometimes, and being able to discern that maybe they didn't know how to approach that subject with you, they didn't know how to bring up the topic, and so they may nervousness, again, anger, whatever emotion and or feeling that they're having, that ability for you to be able to discern, okay, maybe I can understand what their intention is. Maybe poor execution, but I can discern what their intention is. And so we're discerning other people's emotions, coupled with the ability to imagine what someone else might be thinking and or feeling. So again, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt while I'm remaining calm myself. So also the next one, overcoming challenges, whatever challenge in the moment that it may be. Again, the examples that I use was if someone approached you and said something to you, and or if you heard something in passing, or a situation that presented itself. So whatever challenge it is, the ability to overcome the challenge. And then the big one, the last one, diffusing conflict. Emotional intelligence helps us to diffuse conflict. So I'm going to read back to you after kind of breaking down those words. I'm going to read back to you our breakdown of emotional intelligence with the breakdown that I've provided. And it's the skill to perceive the intended meaning so that I can use my emotions in a positive way. So my body is not rigid. My body is not tight. I now can speak compassionately. I can speak clear. I can speak concisely, direct, while discerning your emotions and imagining what you may be feeling, giving all parties, myself and the other individuals, the opportunity to overcome challenges and diffuse the conflict. And so when we're looking at that, giving all parties the opportunity, we're overcoming, we're diffusing conflict. And in doing this, me exercising emotional intelligence, this conversation that had the potential to go way left, this conversation now is being handled, regarded in a positive manner, in a positive way, because I am in control of my emotions. I'm not allowing my emotions to dictate what I may say. I'm not allowing my emotions to dictate this conversation, but I am in control of my emotions. And so as we continue, when reading it like this, it provides a greater understanding. It provides the understanding that, again, I control my emotions. I can't control anyone else's, and no one can control my emotions. I'm the author of my own emotions. I'm practicing to control my own emotions. I choose to use them positively. And now that I'm making a choice to use my emotions positively. Now, empathy, compassion, and stress relief will be in my demeanor. And so just like maybe we felt their anger come towards us, their anger approach us, and we just felt it coming off them in waves. Now what they're feeling is compassion. Now what they're feeling is empathy. Now what they're feeling is, and seeing, wow, she's not stressed, or her body is not tight. She's not giving me the same type of energy that I'm giving her. And so in cases like that, most times, what you're giving, that person can receive it, and maybe it'll cause their demeanor, their presentation to decrease. Again, giving off the opportunity for the conversation to go smoothly. And so, but if both of us, we both have that anger response, we're both in the fight stance, we're both ready to go, then nothing can be done in that manner. No one can be heard. Again, that offense, unforgiveness can come up because all I hear is what I'm saying. All I see is you on the defense. All I see is you don't hear me, you're not listening. Nothing is being said or done, but I see you ready to fight. I'm ready to fight verbally, and our words just keep going back and forth until someone walks away and or someone comes in and stops us from arguing back and forth, right? So that demeanor, it's really important because I'm not stressed. My body is not tight. I'm relaxed in my stance. I'm relaxed in how I'm communicating with the other individual. And so what I'm projecting, they'll feel that. Just like I felt anger, they're feeling she's calm. She can hear what I'm saying. This also, emotional intelligence and practicing this, it also helps us to be able to receive things and also communicate back appropriately. Because sometimes if all I see is anger coming at me, then I can't hear, I can't see. The main thing that I'm going to do and or try to do is to defend myself because you're accusing me, you're saying something that I think may not be true. So all I can do is defend myself. But when I'm practicing emotional intelligence, when I'm practicing that empathy, when I'm practicing using my emotions positive, then I can hear you. Then I'm listening to hear you, and I'm not listening to respond to you. I'm actually listening to hear what you are saying. I'm listening, I'm feeling your emotions. I'm trying to imagine, was this a difficult conversation to bring to me? I'm trying to understand all that's going on with you while managing my emotions. I'm empathizing with you because I need to hear so that I can cause this conversation to stay at a calm speed. Okay, so the rest of the definition absolutely is a benefit to us, our individual selves, because now that I'm practicing emotional intelligence, I can build stronger relationships. I can succeed in school. I can succeed at work. I can achieve personal and career goals because all of the things that I've been doing, communicating effectively, all the things that I've been doing to positively use my emotions in a positive way, that can only benefit me. It can only cause my relationships to continue to grow. It can only cause my emotions to continue to grow. It can only cause me to continue to grow in my career and in every endeavor of my life because I'm using emotional intelligence. I'm using the ability to communicate with you. I'm using empathy. I'm using compassion. I'm using all of those things to diffuse any conflict and to continue to grow in my life. It also teaches us to connect with our feelings. And so when we stop and take inventory of a situation and or inventory of what someone is sharing with us, while simultaneously taking inventory of how we feel, it's teaching us to get in tune with our own feelings. Now I'm recognizing, okay, my emotion is this. I feel this. I can understand me. I'm learning me even more. I can articulate my emotions. I can articulate how I felt when you approached me. I can give you the opportunity to speak on how you felt, maybe with what you heard, the reason why you're approaching me, right? So it's only causing, excuse me, us to be able to have enrich relationships. It's causing us to be able to grow in our career path because we're exercising, we're practicing emotional intelligence. And the more we practice something, then the better at it we become. And the more we practice having control of our emotions, the more we practice being able to take a step back and survey the situation, take inventory of it, the greater the outcome will be for us. And so the person that benefits the most from practicing emotional intelligence is the person that practices emotional intelligence. And so, again, that benefits us with relationships, career, personal goals, and in pretty much every area of our life. And so the more we continue to do that, any situation that we're met with, now I'm approaching that situation. I'm in that situation with character. I'm in that situation with integrity. I'm not walking away feeling guilty because, man, I shouldn't have said that, or I responded in a way that I shouldn't have responded. No, I gave myself the space to stop and to take inventory of what was going on around me and how I felt so that I could respond in an appropriate manner. Now, I can't control if I respond in an appropriate manner and it still does not diffuse that other person. Again, we can't control anybody else's emotions. That has nothing to do with us, right? I'm controlling my emotions so that when I leave this encounter, I won't leave guilty. I won't leave feeling condemned. I'll leave this encounter knowing that I kept my integrity and I kept my character and I was able to manage my emotions. And the more we see those experiences, then the more joy we'll get by continuing to practice our emotions and to be able to diffuse situations. Excuse me again. So researchers, they suggest that there are different levels of emotional intelligence. Those levels include emotional perception. They include the ability to reason while using emotions, the ability to understand emotions, and the ability to manage emotions. And so there are four of them. I'm going to try to get to all four of them today. If I don't get to all four of them today, again, today's lesson will be a foundation for what we'll be teaching on the next couple of weeks. So the first one, we talk about perceiving emotions. The first step in understanding emotions is to perceive them accurately. And going back to the beginning of our definition, that skill to perceive the intended meaning of a thing, the intended meaning of what someone is saying. So now I need to perceive the emotions accurately. In many cases, this might involve understanding nonverbal signals such as body language and facial expressions. I think we can all agree that maybe we can recognize anger, that anger emotion from someone more than we can recognize other emotions from someone. But being able to recognize and understand nonverbal cues, being able to see in someone's face, oh, so you are angry, so let me take a step back and let me manage my emotions because I'm perceiving that you're angry. And because I'm perceiving that you're angry, I don't need to become angry. I don't need to respond to you in the same manner that I feel that you are responding, that you're approaching me. And so that first one, being able to perceive an emotion is key. And it's also the foundation, right? Because if I can perceive, if I can understand your intention, if I can understand what I'm seeing on a deeper level, then that'll help in my response as well. Because if I'm perceiving, you look angry, but maybe you're nervous. You look angry, you sound angry, but underneath that, are you hungry? Are you hurting? Are you in pain? What's going on? Are you disappointed? What's going on beneath that anger? So there's this thing we use in psychology and in therapy. It's called an anger iceberg. And on the top, the iceberg is anger. And beneath the surface, it's different words, feeling words, emotions. And some of them are disappointment, hurt, pain, frustration, hunger is on there, just different things that we may be feeling. But because we can't articulate what we're feeling, it comes across as angry. And so if in this situation, I'm able to perceive you're not angry, something must have hurt your feelings. And because you're hurt, and either you don't know how to just say I'm hurt, you feel ashamed to admit that you're hurting, or that can't be it. I'm not hurting, I'm mad. Then it's coming across as that anger. But if I can perceive, okay, this individual's feelings, they're hurt. So I'm going to respond to them in kind words. I'm going to respond to them in loving kindness. I'm going to extend some grace and mercy to this individual because I don't think that they're angry. I think that they're actually hurt. I think that their feelings or the situation has caused pain. And so I'm not going to cause more pain. I'm going to respond in kind to them. The next one, reasoning with emotions. This step involves using emotions to promote thinking and cognitive activity. And so, using this emotions, now I'm thinking, going back to the perceiving. So, because I perceived that you're hurting instead of angry, now I'm thinking how I'm going to respond. What kind of words will I use to respond to you? Emotions help prioritize the way we pay attention and react to. We respond emotionally to things that garner our attention. And that part there, we respond emotionally to things that garner our attention. So let's just say, for example, continuing with anger, if someone approaches us and it appears that they have a completely angered demeanor. And so I'm responding to that, right? I'm going to respond to that because I see you're angry. Again, I'm going on the defense. I'm going on the defense here because you look angry. I don't know why, but all I know is that I'm going to defend myself. And so because I'm responding to that, again, anger for anger. But now that I'm using my own emotions positively, I can perceive your own emotion. I can start thinking now, okay, this hurt part is what's going on. And because it's hurt that I'm dealing with, I'm going to respond differently. I can respond to the hurt and not to the anger because I perceive that you're hurting. And so now I have the option, do I respond to the anger or do I respond to the hurt? Emotional intelligence helps us respond to one of the two. And the second one is the one that I would like to respond to. I want to respond to your pain because I know if I respond to the anger, it won't get us anywhere. And so being able to not react, to listen to what someone is saying. I'm not listening to respond. I'm actually listening to hear that hurt. Because if I'm listening to respond, then I can't hear the hurt. I can't hear anything past the anger. And that's what I'm going to respond to. So if I'm listening to what you're saying, I'm perceiving what you're saying, now I'm thinking, I'm responding to this pain. I'm not going to respond to the anger. I respond to that emotion. And so now the next one, understanding emotions. The emotions that we perceive can carry a wide variety of meanings. This can. If someone is expressing angry emotion, the observer must interpret the cause of the person's anger and what it could mean. And I know that can be a lot, right? Because now I'm doing a lot of work. I'm managing my emotions. Now I have to perceive your emotions. I have to respond in kind to your emotions. And now it's putting me in the position to understand what you're meaning, understand the intention behind it, understand and observe what is actually going on and what this could potentially mean for me. It does seem like a lot, and I know some conversations may not even be this long or to be able to get to all of these steps, right? But the more we practice it, it'll be second nature to us, and because it'll be second nature to us, then it'll continue to be quicker and quicker, and it won't even be something we're thinking about. We'll just be responding with emotional intelligence to be able to hear and to respond in kind. And so again, observing and interpreting what the person might be meaning. Oh, that's a big one. So for example, your boss is acting angry. It could mean he's dissatisfied with something, or it could be because he got a speeding ticket on the way to work. It may not have anything to do with you at all. And I find that with a lot of situations and a lot of times, sometimes a person is responding to something. Their mind is a million miles away. I got a ticket on the way here. I didn't sleep well last night. None of those things. My delivery I still should be responsible how I deliver something. But overall, it may not have anything to do with you as an individual. You're just kind of on the other end of it. Still, I have to control how I respond to you. Maybe later on, you'll come back and just say, you know what? I apologize. That had absolutely nothing to do with you, but you were on the receiving end. And so for that, I do apologize. And so that understanding that emotion and understanding where it came from, or somebody just walk up to, hey, I don't even know you. I don't know what's going on. Just being able to understand it may not have anything to do with me. And even if it does have something to do with me, I can still use my own emotions to be able to respond in kind to diffuse any conflict, any potential conflict. And the last one of the four that the researchers talk about of different levels of emotional intelligence is the managing of emotions. And that means that it's a crucial part of emotional intelligence because I am effectively managing my emotions on the highest level. Because this is a high level. It appears to be a lot of steps, but overall, they're kind of the same steps, just defined a little bit more in detail, right? This is the highest level of emotional intelligence. Me being able to manage my own emotions, no matter the situation, no matter what's being said, no matter what's going on around me. I have mastered my own emotions. I have learned how to regulate my emotions. I've learned how to respond to an individual appropriately. I've learned how to respond to the emotion that is being presented to me. I have learned how to respond in kind in all aspects of being able to manage my emotions. So it is a high level of emotional intelligence and emotions because we're doing a lot, right? And going back to our definition that we broke down together, perceiving that intended meaning and using my emotions in a positive way because I have a choice. I can use it positively and or not, but I'm choosing to use my emotions positively. I'm choosing to continue to practice using my emotions in a positive way so that this situation, the conversation, that it has no ill effects afterwards. We both can walk away in a harmonious place and not a place of anger. Heck, maybe may have not been resolved all in one conversation, but that anger, that resentment, that bitterness that can arise from anger going back and forth. I'm saying one hurtful thing, you're saying another hurtful thing, and that may have not been even the intention of why I came over here, and so being able to use my emotions in a positive way, being able to be compassionate towards my fellow man, being able to extend empathy towards someone, being able to put myself in their shoes, especially if it's a difficult conversation. Sometimes people have a lot of nerves, as I do tonight, but sometimes people have a lot of nerves when they have to have a difficult conversation with someone. And because I'm nervous right now, then the emotion that may come forth is anger because I'm protecting myself, because this is a difficult conversation. And because I'm protecting myself, the only thing that I can do is I'm going to show you anger because I don't know how you're going to come at me. I don't know how you're going to respond to what I'm saying. And so it's compassion, it's empathy, it's being kind to someone else. It's speaking kind words to another individual. It's allowing your body to match what you're saying. It's allowing your body to show that you are in a relaxed state. It's allowing your body to show that you're not rigid, that you're not tense, that you're not ready for a fight or anything. I'm calm, I'm relaxed. I'm in a position to where I'm giving you the opportunity to be able to share with me. And so again, that last one of managing emotions and it being a crucial part of emotional intelligence because it's that highest form of me managing my own emotions, me managing what I'm feeling, me being responsible for my own emotions. My mom used to tell us when we were younger not to let anyone have so much control over our emotions until we respond and or do something that we normally would not say and or do. And essentially what she was sharing with us, control your own emotions because nobody can control them for you. As much as we may want to control emotions of kids or family members or whatever the case may be, we can only be in control of our own emotions, and no one can control our emotions. And so for next week, I'll start with we have 4 attributes of emotional intelligence, and it's those 4 attributes. Again, it kind of circles around some things that I've shared, but it does continue to go more detailed and deeper into emotional intelligence and even understanding it in a greater way. And so before we end tonight, I'd like to read our definition again thoroughly. Emotional intelligence, the skill to perceive the intended meaning so I can use my emotions in a positive way. So my body is not tight, it's not tense, it's not rigid. I can speak compassionately, I can speak clearly, concise, I can speak directly while discerning the other individual's emotions and imagining what you may be feeling, giving everyone the opportunity to overcome the challenge and diffuse any potential conflict. And so I hope that you were able to receive something on tonight and that it encouraged you. And I also hope that you're able to take something from tonight so that you can use in your own personal life, and whether it be personal or professionally in some area of your life. And I do encourage you to practice emotional intelligence just in random situations. No one has to know you're practicing for your own benefit, so that the more you practice, then your emotions continue to be managed by you, and then you continue to have a greater emotional intelligence for various situations, for various conversations, and so that you are prepared for maybe more difficult conversations or situations that are not ideal, but you're prepared for them. So I'd like to encourage you to take something that I shared on tonight and meet me back here next Wednesday at 7 p.m. so that we can continue our study on emotional intelligence. And now Bishop is going to take up our offering for us. God bless you and be well.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes, indeed. We thank God for you. We thank God for you, and we thank God for the information that has been given. Listen, it's giving time. It's time to sow into the house of prayer. There are 5 ways that you can give. They're appearing before you on the screen. You can text to give, and the information is right there below text to give. You can email the give at riverschicago.com for your Zelle giving. You can also use the $ Rivers HOP for the Cash App. Download our app. Download our app. In fact, if you download the app, you can watch tonight's broadcast and on demand, or you can watch future broadcasts on the app. And so if you're still doing things by mail, you can mail us at the P.O. Box 4315 in Oak Park, Illinois. Zip code is 60304. We just want to thank God for you, and you that have tuned us in on tonight. And we're asking that you come on back as we endeavor to teach more on EQ, more upon emotional intelligence. On behalf of Apostle Stephen Gardner and his wife, Prophetess Yolanda, we want to thank you for being a part of Rivers Chicago Bible Study. God bless you, and you all have a great evening.